The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Cube with Sister Shemiza.
Good morning and Assalamu Alaikum. It's the 21st of October, 10 o'clock, and you're listening to me, Shemiza, taking all the way up to 11 on Where Else. It's the Urban Cube Show, brought to you on Inspire FM 105.1 FM. We are going out to the wonderful people, Luton and surrounding areas this morning, as well as Peterborough Salam Radio and Sheffield's Link FM. Hope you are well, warm and winning wherever you're listening from, and you're having a great start to the week. Hope you've had a restful weekend and you're all ready for this wonderful day called Monday. And talking about days, it's actually National Apple Day. So do have an apple, and as the saying goes, an apple day keeps the doctor away. I've got back into eating my apples again. Interestingly, the weekend, actually it was a toffee apple. I'm so delighted that my teeth can actually still crunch onto a toffee apple at this age. But when's the last time you guys had an apple or baked an apple in a wonderful recipe? Do share with us. You know, we always start the show with some quirky conversation. Let's start with apples. As always, look forward to finding out your thoughts and your comments regarding the show. We are Facebook Live, so you get to see who's in the studio with me, as well as you can leave your comments there, and we're always happy to read them. Sometimes after the show or sometimes in the show, and you can leave your thoughts and comments on today's topic of the show, which is all around the mind-body connection, mental well-being and fitness. And that's why an apple is a great start to the show, because it's healthy, right? 07779481822 to join in with any of the conversations on the show today. Now, the show is the Urban Cube, where I get to speak to trailblazing individuals sharing with me their journeys, be that creativity or around lifestyle. And on today's show, I'm joined by an absolutely extraordinary lady who is very close to us in Luton. She is from Luton. And on this edition of the Urban Cube, I'm delighted to be joined by Hasina Rahman. She's the founder and owner of Pink Diamond Martial Arts, and today we're going to be speaking about the connection between fitness and mental well-being, as well as Hasina's nomination for Female Coach of the Year at the Muslim Sports Awards 2024. How amazing. Assalamu alaikum, Hasina.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm super well. Absolute pleasure to have you joining us today.
Oh, jazakallah.
As always, especially for today's topic of the show, which is all about the mind-body connection, mental well-being and fitness. I was just mentioning apples. That's the closest I'm getting to fitness at the moment. Picking that up and eating it.
Yeah.
But are you a fan of apples?
I am actually. I love apples. Last one I had was yesterday, and I try and get my kids to have them regularly as well. So, yeah, definitely a fan of apples.
Well done, well done. Name me an apple type. Let's see if you know your apples.
Oh gosh, the granny apple.
Yeah,
it's a granny one. Yeah,
Granny Smith.
Yeah, that's my favourite. It's the red one, isn't it? The reddish. Yeah.
No, it's Granny. I thought it was green.
Oh, well, the red one's my favourite. I thought that was the granny one, but
all apples matter.
Yes, they do. Yep.
So you've got the Golden Delicious.
Yep.
Granny.
Yep.
Smith. Gala.
Okay, so you know your apple.
I know about apples. Favourite ones. Apple pie.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, definitely.
I like apple pie.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, any others?
There's a pink lady. Is it? Pink one. Yeah.
Pink lady.
That's quite nice as well. It's quite sweet.
That is. Yeah. It's got a nice crunch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think there's one that begins with B.
Bromley?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Actually, that's the one I like.
You like that
That's
one?
the one I get the most. Yeah.
Okay, lovely with a bit of cinnamon baked.
Yeah.
In the oven. And
very nice.
Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling an apple or two this morning. If you've got any other apples that we've not mentioned, why don't you tell us on 07794811822. Now, putting apples to the side, Hasina, what was your morning like today?
So this morning I dropped my son to school, then I had my morning coffee and then a little walk and then here. So yeah, alhamdulillah, good morning.
Busy morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are a busy lady.
I am, yeah.
Mashallah,
Yeah.
you've had, ever since I've known you, you've
Yeah.
had you've had an extraordinary journey.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And I'm sure your mantelpiece is now the awards you have been able to gain, mashallah, deservedly, are falling off.
Alhamdulillah, I think I'm blessed. I'm blessed. It has been, like you said, it has been an incredible journey, and I think I'm blessed that I've had the opportunity as well. So yeah, it's been amazing, and I've met so many different people across like the whole of UK as well. So yeah, it's been good.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you're really representing Luton. You're putting Luton on the map, and also representing the fact that Muslim women, visible Muslim women, can make their mark in the actual fitness
Yeah,
world.
definitely, yeah.
And this has just been so remarkable to see. How did it all begin?
So it began after I had my second child. So when he was born in 2015, I wanted to do something where I could base it around my kids. So I'm there for my kids, but I can still do something for myself as well. And as you know, I've always had a passion for martial arts. I started when I was 15, and I've now been doing it for over 20 years. So alhamdulillah, I'm still going, and I hope to for another 20 years. So yeah, that's when I started, and I started with one class. And I was talking about it the other day, actually. Like, my first class I ever did was at the Luton Indian Cricket Ground.
Oh, wow.
Near Wardown, and there was a really nice guy who sadly passed away like 2 years ago, but he let me do the classes for free. So he said, come down, do the classes. If you've got more than 10 people, then you can pay me. If you've got less than 10, don't pay. So I always had around 5 or 6 people turn up, and then he was like, no, do it for free, try and get and he was just he wasn't a Muslim, he was just so nice and very accommodating, and I thought, you know what?
Kind.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. And then, and then my class, that's my first class that I ever did. And that was probably when my son was around 4 months, and I did my first class, and it went really well. So, and then it slowly grew from there.
So why did he want to encourage you? What was it?
Do you know what? When I first met him, he was just, I think he was shocked that I was like a Muslim covered lady that was teaching martial arts. And he's like, that's amazing. And he was saying, I wish my, aunties and everything did that back in the days. And it's something so amazing that you're doing for the Muslim community. Because there's the martial arts class, they're mixed. And there's not many female only. And then there's a lot of women from a certain generation that always wanted to do martial arts, but they couldn't because it was mixed. So he was really happy that I was doing something that would kind of, for self-defense, fitness, mental health, everything,
And now it's just blossomed.
Alhamdulillah. So now I do 6 classes a week, and I've got over 100 students, so it's grown.
It sure has, and we're so grateful for that opportunity that was given to you by that gentleman. And, his memory lives on through
definitely.
your work. And the fact that he took a chance on you.
Yeah.
And that's all it is, isn't it? One person giving somebody else a chance.
Yeah.
And what's your thoughts on that? How important is that in people's lives, do you think? Is there enough opportunities like that given, do you think?
I think, do you know what? You'd be surprised in Luton, there's a lot of people like that. Because straight after that, maybe it's Allah's blessing as well, I went to a church hall, which was in Warwick Road. And then that's when I first started my proper class where I had over 10 students. And he did it for free as well. So he offered it for free.
And
I know, and it was amazing. He was like, do you know what, Hasina, for 3 months I want you to do it for free.
Wow.
Once you got the people in, then you start paying. And I was like, it's amazing that you come across people that obviously are non-Muslim. He was a priest of the Warwick Road church, and he was one of the nicest guys that I came across. So I actually I did classes there for 4 years.
Okay.
So I did there for a long time before I moved on to another gym. And he was one of the nicest people I came across in Luton. Really nice guy.
And do you go back to them and tell them, look, this is what I've achieved since then?
Yeah.
And how do they respond?
Do you know, I left little notes. I leave little notes and say thank you. And with the Warwick Road one, I left like a box of chocolate when I left. And I was like, thank you for everything you've done. You've literally helped me start off my business, which is amazing. And he's always been very, very into what I did. Like, he just thought it was a really good idea, and he wanted more people he was actually advertising for me as well. So it was really nice. Very nice.
That's a non-Muslim community
That's a non-Muslim,
supporting you. Now let's talk about the Muslim community. How's the response been like that? Martial arts, wearing the hijab, internationally award-winning.
Alhamdulillah. You'd be surprised. A lot of I think a lot of the students that started 9 years ago are still there.
Okay, that's
so I
great.
think that's just amazing that they've continued the journey. Obviously, the parents have seen a benefit for them coming to the class, and you'd be surprised that a lot of the dads push the girls. They push their
Love
girls
it.
to go,
Love it, yeah.
and it's so nice because they realise how beneficial martial arts, not just for physical health, but mental health as well. And people, obviously, I've done radio shows before, and people heard how I started and where I am now. And like you said, I'm a visible Muslim woman, so it's something that maybe they want their daughters, still be a visible Muslim, but you can still do stuff like martial arts.
Self-defense.
Yeah.
Could you describe to our listeners who are not familiar
Yeah.
with martial arts? Because when I think of martial arts, I think of Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah. My mother-in-law thinks that as well.
I need to get with the program. We've moved on since then, but he was an absolute legend.
He was amazing.
So tell us, what is martial arts?
So the martial arts I teach is karate, which is obviously Karate Kid.
Yes.
Yeah, so similar to that.
Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi.
And fly.
And we have to do the flying kicks as well. Yeah.
So glad I'm not on camera right now. When you
they need to see your moves. So karate and Muay Thai. So a lot of people don't know what Muay Thai is. It's very similar to kickboxing, but it comes from Thailand, and it's martial arts where you use your elbows and knees the most. So it's really, really good. It's very intense. And that's one of my favourite martial arts type. It's a combat sport.
Okay.
And fitness-wise, it's very intense. Like, it really, really helps you get your physical fitness to a top level. With karate as well, it's all about discipline. It's more about keeping calm in a uncomfortable situation and defending yourself. So they're very two different arts, but I like them both. So that's why I teach them both. And so it's really good. Very good, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I want to take you a little bit back. Okay. You spoke about Karate Kid.
Yeah.
And we spoke about Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
So who kind of inspired you to get to do this?
Do you know what? I was such a tomboy. There's a film called Kickboxer. I don't know if you've seen it. It's got Van Damme in it.
Yes.
So when I saw that, I was like, that's amazing. I want to be like him. And then when I saw Karate Kid, it was just, and I was a very energetic child. So even to this day, my mum still says she can't sit still. And that is me. Like, I've always had a lot of energy. And martial arts is something that I've always wanted to do. But my parents thought, she's going to get worse if she does it.
Right.
So they never let me do it when I was younger. But when I turned 15, that's when I did it myself anyway. So, yeah. So
was it true that you sneaked out of the house to do it?
I did.
Tell us
So
more.
bad. I didn't lie. I did say I did fitness,
Yeah.
which is generally what it is, fitness. But I didn't tell them it was martial arts because I knew my parents would probably say no. Girls don't. In them days, it was a long time ago, in the 90s, girls didn't do martial arts. Even when I went to I lived in a non-Muslim area, the class that I went to, 90% was boys. And it was just me and my friend that were the girls. So it was even then, in any community, girls didn't do martial arts. So it was a very new thing.
So generally, all
everywhere, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a challenge being a Muslim girl doing it. It was just
as a
generally
woman, yeah, as a woman. And then when I did kickboxing and Muay Thai, same thing. It was only 95% were men, and then you'd have the 2%, which me and my friend were the girls. So it was amazing. I mean, they didn't treat us any differently. When I did it, everybody was there for one reason only. It was to learn martial arts and to learn combat sport.
And you are still continuing that journey and now teaching it to other people, which is absolutely wonderful. Folks, if you've tuned in, you are listening to The Urban Cube. I'm Shemiza, taking it all the way up to 11. And on today's show, we are discussing the link between the mind-body connection, mental well-being and fitness. And I'm joined today by an extraordinary woman by the name of Hasina Rahman. Now, she's the founder and the owner of Pink Diamond Martial Arts. And today we're going to be talking about this connection between fitness and mental well-being, and also talking to Hasina about the nomination for Female Coach of the Year at the Muslim Sports Awards 2024. Woo!
Thanks.
That's extraordinary.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me about that, Hasina.
So that is actually it's going to be held in Birmingham at I don't know I'm going to say it right, it's Edgbaston Stadium, if I said it right?
Yeah, I'll let you say it.
Okay. I don't know if I've said it right. But it's a cricket stadium and it's in Birmingham and it's going to be held in there. So I'm excited to go and see what that's like. And it is for the Female Coach of the Year. And I'm very grateful to be a finalist for that award. So, yeah, inshallah, it's going to be in December.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And know Birmingham is quite a very wonderful space in celebrating sports achievements.
Definitely, yeah.
And I know that there is a healthy number of female cricketers from like South Asian backgrounds who train in Birmingham as well. I'm active, but I'm not sporty per se. So I love speaking to sisters who are and learning from them. So you're being nominated as your role as a coach, but not as your role as, say, like, you know, a martial artist. So how does that feel? Is that how you define yourself now?
I think now, yes, I'm more of a coach, where I'm coaching the students more than I coach myself. And that's the role that I've taken now, where I want other students to become instructors.
Right.
So with the coaching, I've been doing it for 9 years, alhamdulillah, and I've seen so many amazing girls progress. They're coming up to black belt, which is amazing. So yeah, the coaching role is amazing. You're not just a coach, you're kind of like their sister, their auntie, do you know what I mean? You take so many roles on. And sometimes the mums text me and they're like, oh, she's so nice to you, but she's not nice to me at home. And I was like, it's a teenage behaviour.
Yeah, it's kind of, they need a different space where they feel that they can be their own self, and you allow that, which is a beautiful thing, because I think that's the reason why you've been nominated for this award. Is there a voting process, or
no? There isn't. So this one is the judges decide who wins the award. So yeah, alhamdulillah.
Wow.
So I'm just happy to be shortlisted, so that's amazing. And to see the stadium.
We are happy as well, because it's such a celebration for us in Luton when our Luton town folk go out and represent us. You know, it's a win for the town.
And I've never been to Birmingham, so...
Have you not?
No. Which is crazy. So this is going to be my first time.
I hope they treat you well and look after you there. Such lovely folks. If you're listening in from Birmingham, you know what? Keep an eye out for Hasina Rahman. How can people attend the event?
So it's where they send you the tickets. So I've got one ticket and a complimentary ticket. So I'm going to take someone with me, and that's it. So they just send the tickets out, and it's free to attend, which is amazing. Fantastic. So very nice,
lovely. And I want to know, what are you going to wear, Hasina? Because I always have this conversation with you. And the last time you went to another glamorous event.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And what was that event where you got to meet some very interesting celebrities as well, who were really quite enamoured by you?
That was the Woman of the Year, and it was in London last October, actually. So yeah, that was really good. And I wore a dress for £10 from Sharm el Sheikh.
I love it.
And everyone was asking me, where's your dress from? I didn't say it was £10.
But, you know, it's the way you styled it.
Yes, yeah.
And what are you planning to wear this time?
I don't actually know. I haven't even decided.
Gosh.
It's crazy, yeah.
Anybody would like to inspire us with some ideas, feel free to do so. We're always ears on this show. And it's kind of nice, the fact that you can actually dress up and come out of your coaching gear.
Yeah, definitely.
And wear something a little bit more glamorous.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you schedule your day, Hasina? Because you're a mum on the run, you're a wife, you're a coach, you know, and you're also an entrepreneur, and you are an author as well.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So many different hijabs that you wear.
Definitely, yeah. I think with me, I don't really have like a schedule. So I just, in a way, in my head, I have a schedule. Like, I have to fit my gym in. My workout is very important. So I never skip my workouts. Monday is my most important one. So usually I would get up, do the school runs, and then it'd be my gym straight away, and then have my breakfast, and then do the admin. So usually during the week is my admin week, and then I have my classes in the evenings, and the weekends are my busiest. Yeah. So it's kind of scheduling in what's most important, and then prioritizing everything. So yeah.
Wonderful. And you know, the topic is about mental well-being and fitness, and how we can combine that. And the beautiful thing here is the fact that you're very relatable, in the sense that, you know, you're a busy mum and you're a wife, and their roles are very significant roles.
Definitely.
And they take a lot of time and a lot of energy to maintain, as well as your own career. Yeah. So where does one fit in then, the fitness in this, like, you know, what advice could you give to anybody listening in, sorry?
Make time. That's what I would say. Even if it's 30 minutes or an hour, but you have to treat it like it's a necessity. So a workout is for you, and it's your me time.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think it's so much effort and you put it at the bottom of your list instead of putting it at the top of your list, but you need to make it a priority because it matters. So in your 30s, what you do in your 30s matters when what happens to you in your 40s. What you do in your 40s matters what happens in your 50s.
Okay.
And you have to, what you're doing now is going to pay off later. So with me, the people, alhamdulillah, still say, oh, you're still quite fit at my age. And then because I've always trained, so it's kept me the way I am, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
our body is an amana to us.
100%,
and
yeah.
we do need to, focus,
Yeah.
take time out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the South Asian community, what I've seen in the past is it's like when people hit a certain age, that's when they decide, oh, it's okay now for the women to do their fitness. They need to get out and walk.
But then by that time, you've left it a bit too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is this what you're trying to educate communities?
Yeah.
Our communities, that we need to start early.
Yeah. So when the 15-year-olds come to my class and they're moaning when they're doing press-ups and burpees, I'm like, no, this is paying off when you're in your 20s. And they're like, oh, but I still make them do it. So I just tell them, like, what you're doing now is going to pay off in your 20s. And the 20-year-olds, what they're doing now is paying off in the 30s. And not only that, I think it's so important as us, as mothers, to have a good mental health. And with fitness, that is related to mental health. A good mental health for us means good for our children, for our family.
Yes.
So the main thing is for us to be happy, and then our kids will be happy, and our family will be happy. And we sometimes lose that focus because we concentrate on giving them everything and we keep nothing for ourselves.
So is that that
Yeah.
element of servitude,
Yeah,
which is ingrained with us
Yeah.
from a very young age,
Yeah.
that your duty as a mother, as
Yeah.
a wife,
Yeah.
as a sister, is to serve your community,
Yes.
or your family foremost. And alhamdulillah, which has its own rewards.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
It has its own rewards,
Yeah.
but it's okay to kind of have your own space
Yeah.
to kind of build on your own mental well-being. And
Yeah.
that's why it's such a pleasure to have you on the show today, to remind us
Yeah.
that hopefully whatever we talk about can resonate with men as well.
Yeah,
It's not just
definitely.
about women.
Yeah, yeah.
That take some time out. Are you seeing a change? Has there been a shift since, say 9 years ago when you began in that in Wardown Park doing your sessions? Has there been a shift in the way fitness is being perceived?
Definitely. I think when I first started, obviously I was very new as a coach, so I was learning myself.
Yeah.
And I've grown as a coach, and whereas there definitely has been, because I think it's promoted a lot more now, even on Instagram, Facebook, how important fitness and health is. And we can see, like, my parents, they both had diabetes. They've both got diabetes, and it is something that is related to stress as well. So stress is a very, very big factor of everything. And you know that if you exercise, it releases good hormones, and it's very good for you. And it's people just, I think they're understanding more and more now that for stress relief, even if you go for a walk for 30 minutes or anything you do that is physically good for you is going to pay off in so many different ways.
Indeed, it is. And I just want to do a bit of a disclaimer on the show, which I should have done earlier on. Any opinions on the show or anything medical or fitness related, please seek professional advice. These are the opinions of our guest, not solely of the radio station. So if there's anything that you are going to do that's going to exert you, that is out of your regular routine, and you have a medical condition, you do need to get advice, always, foremost. We are staying with the wonderful Hasina Rahman to the end of the show. We're going to be heading over to a break very, very shortly. And we're going to talk to Hasina about her journey, which isn't just about fitness and martial arts in the gym, but it's also, she's an author too, and has published a book which has kind of gained a lot of traction and attention from local school children. So we're going to be finding out about that, and it's actually a very key topic. It's around bullying, which is a very important topic to put the spotlight on. And bullying can actually happen in all age groups. It doesn't just happen with young children, it can actually happen to adults as well. So we're going to be having that conversation with Hasina about the book that she has written and any other books that she has up her sleeve or under her hijab. And if you've got any questions, folks, about any of the topics today on the show regarding martial arts, wellbeing, fitness, or any of the topics, then please feel free to contact us at 07779 481 822. We'll be delighted to read your thoughts and your comments and share them with Hasina. The show today is going out to Luton surrounding areas, also going out to Peterborough, Salam Radio and Sheffield's Link FM. So if you guys want to get in contact with us, feel free to do so as well. Hasina, the title of your book, just give us a little bit of a snippet before we head to the break.
So I've got 2 books that were out. So
Amazing.
The first one was Heroes, A Guide to Anti-Bullying. And the second one was Tutu the Cat.
Tutu the Cat! That's so cute.
My son actually came up with the name.
I love it. So Tutu the Cat, I'm really quite intrigued to hear about that book. And you know, the wonderful thing is, it's like, just because you're in the gym and you're keeping fit doesn't mean that you can't be creative.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
well.
100%.
The fact that you can do the two things, and that's what I really am going to enjoy having this conversation with you straight after the break, because you're a multi-potentialite. Do you know that word?
No, I don't. First time I've heard it.
And that's what we're going to be talking about, what that word means. We're going to head to a break straight after this. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Atif Nawaz. Listen to Inspire FM shows in your time by heading over to inspirefm.org or listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Cube with Sister Shemiza.
Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. It is 21st of October and the time is 10:30, and you are listening to the Urban Cube show, brought to you on Inspire FM 105.1 FM. We are going out to Luton surrounding areas and Peterborough's Salam Radio and Sheffield's Link FM. I'm Shemiza, taking all the way up to 11 o'clock on the second part of the Urban Cube. On today's show, I'm joined by another fantastic guest where I get to have a conversation with them about their journey. And on today's show, we are talking about mind and body and fitness and how we can combine the two and remain active. And on today's show, my guest is somebody who we're very proud of sharing their background with, because mashallah, she's really doing Luton proud. Is no other than Hasina Rahman. She's the founder and owner of Pink Diamond Martial Arts, and today we're talking to her about the connection between fitness and mental well-being, and also about Hasina's nomination for Female Coach of the Year at the Muslim Sports Awards 2024 in Birmingham. So the wonderful Hasina is in the show this morning, mashallah. Always an absolute treat to be in her company and having her tell us the amazing things that she gets involved in, and also representing us in Birmingham. Hasina, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, Hasina. I was just talking to you in the break about, you know, being a woman and feeling safe. And I'm sure this conversation pops up a lot with you and the work that you do. And you were just telling me, like, you know, just somebody so confident and somebody who knows her martial arts.
Yeah.
You felt a little bit intimidated walking up, like coming up the road.
I mean, do you know what it is? It's like, it doesn't matter how much martial arts you do, combat sport, I'm still a female. And even though I know the skills, I wouldn't want to use it unless I have to.
Okay.
So there were, you know, like if someone's like swaying when they're walking or throwing a cigarette, then it just puts me off when I see that. And when you walk past, they might ask you something. So you're kind of like prepared for it. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like you have to be aware of everything around you.
Hypervigilant.
Yeah.
And hypervigilance as a woman that's visibly Muslim in, unfortunately, where we felt the racial tension a few months ago, it did impact a lot of women who didn't feel comfortable stepping out. So what would you say to women who feel like that, or even men and children who feel like intimidated, concerned, or hypervigilant?
I would say confidence is a big thing. I think sometimes with bullying as well, same thing. They look for someone who looks intimidated.
Okay.
So they'll literally go, if someone looks quite confident, they're walking in a confident way, they're less likely to approach you because they'll probably get a knock or something, you know, like something like, or they'll answer back. But if someone looks quite shy or looks quite quiet, they're more likely to, that's why men sometimes would attack a woman wearing a hijab, because it's a woman. They think she won't fight back, or do you know what I mean? So you have to, I suppose you have to look confident and just be aware of yourself. Always be aware of your surroundings. Try not to go by yourself anywhere, even especially in the dark. Always have someone with you, and just be aware of your surroundings. I think that's the main thing you can do, is just be careful.
And, you know, some good advice that you've just given there about make sure you go with somebody if you're feeling anxious.
Yeah.
Make sure people know where you're going. You know, keep your phone charged.
Yeah.
Make sure that you tell people what you've arrived to wherever you're going. That's why we have phones, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And always go with somebody if you ever feel conscious that, you know what, you don't feel safe. Unfortunately, this is the world that we're in at the moment, where we're having to make sure that we tell people. It'd be wonderful if we didn't have to do that, but it's always good to do that. And children, if you're listening in, you know, if mum and dad say to you, tell us where you're going, there's a reason for it. They're not trying to kind of just, like, you know, stop you from doing whatever you're doing. It's
Definitely.
It's good. It's the parents, and they're being protective. Now, you spoke about bullying just a moment ago, and you spoke about people who are more prone to be bullied. They look a certain way, or which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, you know, research has suggested, and we've seen this for our own eyes, the unfortunate case studies around bullying and the impact that it actually has had on people's lives, and people's lives have been lost because of it. So you understand this, and you've, mashallah, created a book, haven't you?
I have,
around the topic of bullying. I mean, why did that come about?
I was getting a lot of messages on Instagram. So it was messages from around, I think it was Kenya, it was Africa, it was everywhere. And they were just coming in saying, we need something like this where we live. It's not enough emphasis on it. Right. And it's something that happens everywhere. And one lady in particular, she was telling me about her 7-year-old daughter who gets bullied severely because of her skin colour, the way her hair is, or whatever it is. And she's like, she just doesn't talk to anyone. She doesn't eat. It's affected her so badly. And it really gets to me when I hear stories like that, because obviously I can't go over there and help her. And the parents obviously suffering as well, seeing their daughter like that. And I think with bullying, you have to build that confidence from a very young age, from the age of 4 or 5, to let them know that Allah created everyone differently. Everybody is different. And we have no right to, take the mick out of someone for the way they look or the way they are, because we're all unique. And that's one thing that I wanted to put in the book is we're all different, but we have to accept each other the way we are. So if you've seen the book Heroes, the Guide to Anti-Bullying, that says, like, some people might have curly hair, some people are tall, some people are short. So even my sons now, they're always measuring themselves, trying to get taller because people in their school are a bit taller. Right. And it's something that they should feel confident, like, this is my height, this is the way I look, and it should be something that's embedded in our children from a very young age. And that gives them confidence. And you're always going to get bullies, like you said, even when you're an adult. But it's the way you can stand up for yourself. Doesn't mean you have to fight back. It just means having that confidence to be able to stand up for yourself, using your words as well.
So, but how does one use their words?
Well, that's the hard bit. But I think it's sometimes, like when I went to school, I wish I looked a bit more confident. I think because I was the only brown person in the whole school, I just knew I was going to be a target. And there'd be little comments that they'd make, oh, she's quite pretty for a brown person. And it's like, oh gosh, and it's like comments like that. It's like they don't expect someone to look good if you're brown. And even though it's like, it's a compliment with not a compliment, but it affects you quite badly. So it's stuff like that. I wish I could stand up to that. I wish I could have said something back. That's what I think now. But I suppose in a way I had to go through that to become who I am today. And maybe it pushed me more to go for things. And I think if someone is being bullied right now or something, you need to stand up for yourself. You need to go and tell someone. I didn't tell anybody. And I would recommend, if there's anything going on at school, go and speak to a best friend, speak to your parents if you can, speak to an uncle, an aunt, or teacher. You have to let it out. You can't keep it in. So that's one advice I would say. If you are getting bullied and you feel like you can't stand up for yourself, speak to someone.
What about parents who can see that their child's behaviour has changed slightly? They've become a little bit inward and insular.
Yeah.
But the child isn't giving them any indication of what's happening. What can they do?
I think spend time with your child, maybe play a game with them, or just spend like a time with them to slowly get there, so that they'll feel comfortable to tell you. But with parents, if we suddenly go, how's school going? And they're not going to be that open to tell you everything.
Of course.
So I think you need to be spending time with them, maybe talk about something they're interested in, and then slowly break it down and say, so how is school? Like, have you got friends? And try and slowly break into it and then see what the actual problem is. I know it's hard, it's not easy. But it's just maybe spending more quality time figuring out if anything is a problem. Yeah.
So this wonderful book that you've written,
Yeah.
how can people get hold of it? And what's the response been like?
So it's been amazing, alhamdulillah. It's been really good. It's available in Hira, which is in Biscot Road, Hira Gift Store, and Amazon as well, and Amson's. So it's available on Amazon
And
worldwide.
how did you get into publishing? Because it's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not. It was very stressful. I think that's put me off from doing like another one anytime soon, but it is rewarding. I think it's amazing. I didn't do it to make money. I did it to get the message across.
Okay.
And the response back from it was amazing. So alhamdulillah. And it's a long journey. You have to get a illustrator. You have to make sure your English is right and everything is just perfect before you release it. And I did self-publish it, so I did go through that route. My main thing was to get the book out there and get the message across. I didn't want to do it for other reasons. So alhamdulillah, yeah.
I just love this journey that you've had, from sneaking out to do, your martial art lessons, going into a community centre for free, and then publishing a book, but then standing shoulder to shoulder with some of the most talented, notable people in the athletic world.
I know, amazing.
We need a book on your life, don't you think?
Oh gosh. In the future, maybe, inshallah.
But you do have a remarkable story, and it's a
Alhamdulillah.
story
Yeah.
that, does need to be shared, because it didn't happen overnight.
No.
And you've had all these amazing, hurdles
Yeah.
that have made you stronger.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You've not, and, you've jumped over them, and here you are telling us your story. And then now your next book is Tutu the Cat. I love that. All that, Tutu the Cat.
Tutu the Cat, I know.
Tell me
I don't know
about Tutu the Cat.
So I actually released that in 2023.
Okay.
And that was again on Amazon, and it was it's leading on to Heroes, but it was more about how bullying can happen in friendships. So you can be friends, but your friends can actually bully you as well without you realizing. So that was what that book was more about: two cats that are best friends, but one of them just keeps pushing the other one over, and he hasn't got the guts to say "don't push me" because he's friends with him and he doesn't want to lose that friendship. And my sons actually love it, and I've got a lot of nephews and nieces, and they've got kids now, so they love reading it to their kids, and it's just amazing how the generations are reading the books. And so alhamdulillah.
I really like that. That's a really interesting lesson, because sometimes it's the people that are closest to you that might be potentially gaslighting and deflecting, if that's the word, and you don't realise it because you think that because they're your friends,
it's okay to accept it.
It's about boundaries, and setting those boundaries. Folks, you are listening to the Urban Cube, and we are talking to Hasina Rahman. We're also talking about the topic of bullying. If you are listening in and you feel that you are facing something similar, please feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll inshallah sign you post to somebody to talk to regarding this, because it's not a topic that should be ignored.
No.
And we want to be here to help if you need any advice or guidance as well. This is what Inspire FM is all about. And it's just so wonderful. I love this book that you've shared with us, Tutu the Cat, because it's unexpected. I would not expect Tutu the Cat to be so naughty. Are you a cat person?
Do you know what? I'm not really.
No?
I love cats. So I just I don't know why. They just surprise me when they suddenly come out, and it's like, oh, but it's yeah, they're all right. They're cute.
They're cute.
They're cute.
So
I like them from a distance.
From a distance.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
From a distance. Cats are an intriguing species.
Yes, they are. They're very beautiful. Very beautiful. Yeah. My sons love cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah.
So what do you do apart from everything else that you do?
I try. Do you know what? At the moment, I'm trying to do different hobbies. So I was telling you earlier, I did archery, and I absolutely loved it. Because I always do very fast-paced sports. I want to do something that was more mindful and more like concentration. And I went with my friends, and then they were like saying, "This is so different than what you're used to." And they saw me yawning, and they're like, "Why are you yawning?" And I was like, "This is relaxing me so much." But I really did enjoy it. And
so where did you do archery?
so I did it was for OCC, which is a organisation in Luton.
Yes.
And they did it in Beach Hill School.
Okay,
It was in the
wonderful.
evenings, yeah.
And
And it was a ladies only archery club, we did it for 8 weeks, and it was really good.
you were consistent?
I was consistent, and I got the bullseye a few times. So alhamdulillah, I picked it up quite quickly.
Does that surprise me? No, it doesn't surprise. So talk to me about archery. Archery is a sunnah sport.
It's a similar sport, yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to do it. And it's just such a skillful sport. I think I find it's really good. It's really, really amazing. And what I didn't realise is you need so much patience,
Really?
so much skill to do it. And with me, because every week I'd forget how to hold it, and they'd be like, "We just did it last week," but for me that was the hardest bit, to remember how to hold the bow and the arrow. And everyone can do it, and I'm like, why can't I do it? It's because my brain switches off as soon as I leave. My brain switches off, and I don't even think about it until the lesson comes again.
Now, did we talk about ADHD?
I think we have in the past, yeah.
And
Yeah.
can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Are you-
So when I was at school, I've always struggled with school a lot. This would be from primary school. I had a hard time focusing, and I think that's one of my main things. I don't know if I've told you my driving tests. I've never passed it. So it was one of the reasons my instructor brought it up, and she's like, you lose concentration like this. And that's always been my struggle. And I think as a child, my parents would say, it's naughty when you lose concentration. And that's how I was like, she's always on the move. She doesn't sit still. But my main thing was, it's the focus that I couldn't keep. And martial arts is the thing that helped me focus so much. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about martial arts, because it just helped to get to black belt. Whoever does martial arts, they always say that 80% get to brown belt, but only 1% get to black belt. Because it gets so much harder. It gets so physical, so mental. And it's just draining that not many people get to black belt. And I think once you get there, it's such an achievement. And that's one thing that helped me focus, I think, is staying consistent and finding something that I really could put my effort into and all into.
And you know what's applaudable is the fact that you actually kind of like opened so many doors to make that happen for you.
Yeah.
Nobody took you there.
No,
you did
no.
that for you. And
Yeah.
you've been consistent. And that's
Yeah.
what's so admirable, because it's not just about you. Now you've kind of built a community
Yeah,
that you
alhamdulillah.
can cater for. And that's why you so deserve to win or be nominated for Female Coach of
Oh,
the Year
thank
for
you.
the Muslim Sports Award, because
Yeah.
I totally can feel your energy, your compassion and your conviction in not just for yourself but for everybody around you. Alhamdulillah. And I'm really delighted that you've been able to openly talk about your ADHD struggles. Thank you for sharing that with us and honouring us with that, because this is still an area that isn't spoken enough of, and we don't normally associate that with South Asian communities, particularly not women.
Yes, I know. It's crazy.
And it's now I'm noticing more of my friends. I seem to be a magnet of wonderful people on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I wonder why. and it's just, we need to have more discussions about this.
Definitely, yeah.
We definitely need to have more discussions about this. And thank you for doing this and sharing that with us. So when did you actually get your diagnosis? Was it early on or?
Mine was after, it was in my 20s. So it was a long time after. I mean, in school, they would always give me tests. It was, in the 90s, nobody knew what it was really.
Exactly.
It was crazy. And they would always put me in a class where, the class where you just needed that extra help.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't that I needed the extra, but just 'cause I couldn't keep my focus.
Yeah.
So,
And they aligned it to being naughty
Yeah.
and disruptive,
Yeah.
not understanding that
Yeah.
there is more to this.
Yeah.
And it just needs a lot more compassion, a lot more empathy. But
Yeah.
they didn't have the understanding then as they do now.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah for that.
Yeah.
So it's really, I think, do you think there's a book around this subject that needs to be written about? Because I think there is.
Yeah. There's a book that I was reading. It's called Scattered Minds.
Okay.
And it's by he's a very famous...
Written by you. I want to be written by you
Oh,
because
gosh.
you're very good at
yeah.
exploring. Because I do think that here you're very relatable. Relatable. And I don't know any South Asian woman or
Yeah.
Muslim woman
Yeah.
that is talking about this subject matter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here, your mind's spinning, mine as well.
I know.
We're brewing up
I know, it's
another
crazy.
concoction. Why not? Why not? You know, this is what it's all about. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were talking about a book called Scattered Minds.
Scattered Minds is by Dr. I don't even want to say his name right. Gabor, is it Gabor? Gabor. And he's on Instagram a lot. He's very famous, and he talks a lot about, because I think his children had ADHD.
Okay.
And he found it very, very hard to find the right diagnosis. Sometimes it's a lot more than ADHD. It's not just one thing. And I really like his book I'm reading at the moment. It's called Scattered Minds, and how hard he found it. And sometimes how hard it is as a parent. And sometimes as a parent you have it and you don't even realise. So it passes down in the genes as well.
Yes.
And I've realised my son at school as well, they told me that he never listens. I was like, oh gosh, he's me. So it's things that pass on as well.
But knowing that, see, now that you have an understanding,
Yeah.
you can have that
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah,
to
yeah.
actually instill a care plan for your child at
Yeah.
school and say,
Yeah.
look, I understand. There's more compassion.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Definitely for your son as well.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing, isn't it, that what we find out about ourselves.
Yeah.
And you found out about that now, but if you could go back to your 16-year-old self or 15-year-old self, what would you say to them, Hasina?
Oh, that was when I was probably the worst, at the lowest. So I would say, I feel like my 16-year-old wouldn't believe me, but I would say, look, it's all going to work out and you're going to run your own combat club
Wow.
and it's going to be a success. So, yeah.
Alhamdulillah. And it
Alhamdulillah.
sure has been.
Yeah.
And you have definitely made your mark in the world of combat sports, and especially with this nomination, which we're so proud to kind of share with our listeners this morning, for the Muslim Sports Award for Female Coach. Guys, you can totally get why she deserves it, right? For getting it, and also representing not just Muslim women, but all women really in this area. And this is what makes your story so remarkable, so special, because it's not been an easy journey.
No.
And you've had to go over so many hurdles to get where you are, and it ain't stopping you. You're still going to carry on. I mean, I want to ask you, what else is on the cards?
Do you know, at the moment, I think because the club is growing, it's
Yeah.
concentrating on the girls, making sure they get the best possible coaching.
Of course.
And some of them are coming up, and I want them to start teaching, getting paid for it. So it's like the next generation. I'm focusing on the next generation, and I'm still doing my training. So, yeah. So it's just focusing on the club more than anything else.
So I want to ask you about the Olympics.
Yeah.
And Muslim women in the Olympics and in the sporting world internationally. What does it look like for you, and who has kind of made you feel really proud?
I think was it the Taekwondo ladies, and they were all like covered up, and it's just amazing seeing how far they've gone. Like, some of them, the hijab was banned, which I found like incredibly bad, like the way they just banned it, and they weren't allowed to wear the hijab, they had to wear a hat or something, I think with some of the runners, and to see that covered Muslim women are representing a sport and they're at that level is just amazing, like how far we have come, that we can wear the hijab and dress modestly and still participate. Yeah,
and obviously there has been now a lot of even the attire has evolved. There seems to be a lot more headscarves and sporting modest sportswear to accommodate every niche of sport now. How wonderful
it's amazing.
Is that to see?
Yeah,
how wonderful. It is 10:53, folks. I'm joined with Hasina Rahman, who is talking to me this morning. And we've just had such a wonderful conversation that you can actually listen back to on Facebook Live, as well as all our listening back services. Now, Hasina is the founder and owner of Pink Diamond Martial Arts, and today we've been talking to her about the mind-body connection, mental well-being and fitness, and amongst other things. She is nominated for Female Coach of the Year at the Muslim Sports Award 2024. I'm looking forward to her bringing it back to the town. Hasina, for anybody listening into the show this morning, what advice would you give to anybody who might want to kind of take a step into the world of martial arts?
I think don't be intimidated. Come and try a class, whether it's karate, Muay Thai. Just try it out, see how it is. I mean, in my class we have all different ages. We have, at the moment, we have a lot of ladies, which it's so nice to see a certain age of women come into class, because I do have a lot of young people, but I wanted a lot of ladies to come and see the benefits of it as well. And it's just amazing, like mothers, and they're taking that time out to come and learn something like Muay Thai, and they can see the improvement in their fitness and their mental health. So the main focus around my club is fitness, self-defense and mental health. So that's the main base around it. So do come and try it wherever you are. If you find a martial arts class, try it out and see what you think.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And do you have any social media handles?
I do. So it's called Pink Diamond Martial Arts on Facebook and Instagram.
And will you come back to us with your award?
Inshallah, inshallah.
Even if you don't,
even if I don't,
because I'll find a way of getting you in the studio. I always do.
I know.
I just have to look at Facebook. Right, Hasina, can you? And you always make time for us.
I do. Yeah.
I really, really appreciate that, and it's just been so tremendous watching your journey. Thank you so much for everything you're doing for the community, for the sisters, for your own children, and just making us all proud. It's been an absolute.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you so much, Hasina. Hasina is with us this morning, mashallah, from talking to us about her journey in martial arts, and it's been a real treat speaking to her. Folks, I am going to say it's the end of the show now. We've got about 25 seconds. Anything you want to say before we go, Hasina?
Go for a walk today.
I like that.
Go for a walk, yeah.
I like that. That's good advice.
Yes.
That's really, really good advice. Go for a walk today. Have an apple as well. It's International Apple Day. Have one of those. Always stay safe, stay smiling, and keep us always in your du'as. I'll be back same time, same place next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.